Okay, we're going to continue on in our Father's Word today. Now, I want to go back over this Ezekiel 40 through 48. Ezekiel 40 through 43 talks about the dimensions and the size of the rooms and how the millennial temple will be laid out, and God's going to build the millennial temple. We won't have to do any of that. After 666, 5 full moons, the Antichrist will be over in Jerusalem pretending to be God. There at the holy place, the instead of Jesus. Antichrist means the instead of Jesus, the fake Jesus. He's going to be over there pretending to be God. They're in the holy place for 5 full moons. And then at 777, 1 Corinthians 15:52. In the twinkle of an eye, all flesh will be removed from the earth. We'll all be changed incorruptible into spiritual beings once again. Corruptible means flesh. Incorruptible means spiritual beings. We're all going to be changed at the last trump, the final trump, the 7th trump, when the real Jesus comes, looking for spiritual virgins. And every knee will bow and every tongue confess when the real Jesus comes. Then we have 1,000 years of teaching by Jesus Christ and the elect, the Zadok, the upright, the teachers for 1,000 years, the saints, the 144,000 and the 7,000 super elect. Those will be the teachers in the millennial temple, along with Jesus Christ. Now Ezekiel 44, that talks about mother, brother, sister, unmarried sister, all your close family members. If you're one of the elect, you can go back to one of your close family members and give them a pep talk. But then you can't be around Jesus for 7 days. You have to go through a 7-day ritual cleansing before you can be around Jesus again. And then we're talking here in Ezekiel 47 and 48. This is where we're going to start at right now. Let's continue on in our Father's Word. This is Ezekiel 47, verse 17. And the border of the sea shall be Hazar Enan, and the border of Damascus, and the northward, and the border of Hamath, and this is the north side. And the east side ye shall measure from Huran, and from Damascus, and from Gilead, and from the land of Israel by Jordan, from the border until the east sea. And this is the east side. And the south side, southward, from Tamar even to the waters of strife in Kadesh, and the river to the great sea. And this is the south side, southward. And the west side shall be the great sea from the border till a man come over against Hamath. This is the west side. And ye shall divide this land into your according to the tribes of Israel. And it shall come to pass that ye shall divide it by lot for an inheritance unto you, and to the strangers that sojourn among you, which shall beget children among you, and they shall be unto you as born in the country among the children of Israel. They shall have inheritance with you among the tribes of Israel. And it shall come to pass that in what tribe the stranger sojourneth, there shall ye give him his inheritance, saith the Lord God. Now this is Ezekiel chapter 48. Now these are the names of the tribes. From the north end of the coast to the way of Hethlon, as one goeth to Math, Hazazeranan, the border of Damascus northward, to the coast of Hamath. For these are his sides, east and west, a portion for Dan. And by the border of Dan, from the east side unto the west side, a portion for Asher. And by the border of Asher, from the east side even to the west side, a portion for Naphtali. And by the border of Naphtali, from the east side unto the west side, a portion for Manasseh. And by the border of Manasseh, from the east side unto the west side, a portion for Ephraim. And by the border of Ephraim, from the east side unto the west side, a portion for Reuben. And by the border of Reuben, from the east side and to the west side a portion for Judah. And by the border of Judah from the east side and to the west side shall be the offering which ye shall offer of 25,000 reeds in breadth, and in length as one of the other parts, from the east side and to the west side, and the sanctuary shall be in the midst of it. The oblation that ye shall offer unto the Lord shall be 25,000 in length, and 10,000 in breadth. And for them, even for the priests, shall be this holy oblation toward the north, 25,000 in length, and toward the west 10,000 in breadth, and toward the east 10,000 in breadth, and toward the south 25,000 in length. And the sanctuary of the Lord shall be in the midst thereof. And it shall be for the priests that are sanctified of the sons of Zadok, which they have kept my charge, which went not astray when the children of Israel went astray, as the Levites went astray. And this oblation of the land that is offered shall be unto them a thing most holy by the border of the Levites. And over against the border of the priests the Levites shall have 25,000 in length, and 10,000 in breadth. And all the length shall be 25,000, and the breadth 10,000. And they shall not sell of it, neither exchange nor alienate the first fruits of the land, for it is holy unto the Lord. And the 5,000 that are left in the breadth over against the 25,000 shall be a profane place for the city for dwelling and for suburbs. And the city shall be in the midst thereof. These shall be the measures thereof: the north side 4,500, and the south side 4,500, and on the east side 4,500, and the west side 4,500. And the suburbs of the city shall be toward the north 250, and toward the south 250, and toward the east 250, and toward the west 250. And the residue in length over against the oblation of the holy portion shall be 10,000 eastward, 10,000 westward, and it shall be over against the oblation of the holy portion. And the increase thereof shall be for food unto them that serve the city. And they that serve the city shall serve it out of all the tribes of Israel. All the oblations shall be 25,000 by 25,000. You shall offer the holy oblation foursquare with the possession of the city. And the residue shall be for the prince on the one side and on the other of the holy oblation, and of the possession of the city over against the 25,000 of the oblation toward the east border, and the westward over against the 25,000 toward the west border, over against the portions for the prince, and it shall be the holy oblation. And the sanctuary of the house shall be in the midst thereof. Moreover, from the possession of the Levites, and from the possession of the city, being in the midst of that which is the prince's, between the border of Judah and the border of Benjamin, shall be for the prince. As for the rest of the tribes, from the east side unto the west side, Benjamin shall have a portion. And by the border of Benjamin, from the east side unto the west side, Simeon shall have a portion. And by the border of Simeon, from the east side to the west side, Issachar a portion. And by the border of Issachar, from the east side and to the west side, Zebulun a portion. And by the border of Zebulun, from the east side and to the west side, Gad a portion. And by the border of Gad, at the south side southward, the border shall be even from Tamar unto the waters of strife in Kadesh, and to the river toward the great sea. This is the land which ye shall divide by lot unto the tribes of Israel for inheritance. And these are their portions, saith the Lord God. And these are the goings out of the city. On the north side, 4,500 measures. The gates of the city shall be